All right.
Mr. Minsky, I
Yes,
have
go ahead.
to, I have like work in a bit. Is it okay if I resume
That's up to
early?
you.
Okay. But the lecture is gonna be posted, right?
I will
Okay,
post this.
thank you.
We've not done chapter one. Many of you all did the defining control assignment. Okay. Thank you so much for doing that. I did not get to chapter one last week like I originally had planned on the calendar. So let me tell you, if we ever get to it, there's ever an assignment that's due and we have not talked about it in class, chances are I've just forgotten to go into Canvas to extend the deadline, the due date. Okay. So I'm not going to go back to controlling, defining control. But if you have not done it, just know that I will not take points off unless you turn it in after Tuesday of next week. Okay.
Just
So
a
that one's
question,
gonna be
Mr.
due.
Minsky.
Hold on, Tanner, 1 second, okay? Um, that's gonna be due, if by chance, as we go through chapter one today, if you realize there's something that you want to change from your previous submission, you can go ahead and do that and then resubmit it and I will grade it. Okay? Yes, sir.
When I was taking a look, making sure I wouldn't have any homework over the weekend last night, there was an assignment under the modules, I think, that had a due date of April 23rd, and I was wondering what we do about that.
Okay, so in that situation, just send me an email. It may just be a previous assignment that I've copied in and I forgot to change the due date. So yeah, just send me an email and that's the fastest way to take care of that.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome. All right, so with that being said, um, in my attempt to try to cover chapter one and chapter two today, we are going to kind of go through chapter one relatively quickly, since a lot of you have already done the defining control assignment. So if you have any questions or need me to slow down, you just let me know. All right, so what is the relationship between costs and our profitability? There's a relationship between those two numbers.
Well, can't be more or else you're losing.
Yeah, so our costs cannot be higher than our sales because then we're going to be losing money. We're not going to be profitable. Okay. So typically, oops,
The lower the cost, the more.
exactly. If our costs are low, then our profit is typically going to go up. Okay. But if our costs are high, then our profit is going to go down. Okay. Um, but we have to find this fine line. The fine line between quality and being cost effective. Okay. If we drop below that line of quality, what's going to happen?
You're gonna lose profits from
Nobody's going to want to buy our products. So we're going to lose profit altogether. So we don't want to just cut costs for the sake of cutting cost, right? There has to be a reason behind it, but we also need to maintain that quality that our customers and our guests expect. Okay. So remember, we have that profit or loss is equal to, what is our formula? Sales minus expenses. Good. Okay. Sales minus expenses. And we have to do sales minus expenses because we have to know whether we actually made money. If our expenses are higher, we're going to be at a loss. So example number one, are we profit or loss? Just no numbers, just profit. Profit or loss? Why?
You sold more than your
Because there's a difference of $5,000.
Yeah, so we have a profit of $5,000 because our sales were more than our expenses. Okay. The opposite, profit or loss? We have a loss
Of
of
about
$100.
$100.
Okay. Excellent. We have a loss of $100. So that's a pretty simple math. We spend more than we bring in, we're going to be at a loss. Okay. We have three different types of costs. Our fixed cost. Which graph represents the fixed cost?
C.
C.
A,
C.
oh, oh, C.
Our fixed costs are represented by
C.
C.
A
Okay.
static line.
Our cost does not change. It does not matter if we have one person walk in our door or if we have 1,000 people walk in our door. The fixed cost stays the same. Our rent, we have to pay the same. The salary, we have to pay the same. Okay. Variable costs. B.
Oh, no, sorry, say A.
It's A. Why is it A?
Because when the cost goes up, sales go up. Our sales go up, the cost goes up.
So variable means that this gap between our sales and our cost is always the same. They move in direct proportion. When our sales go up, so do our costs. When our sales go down, our costs should also come down. Those are our variable costs. What's an example of one of our variable costs?
Ingredients
Yes, our food.
and repairs on equipment.
Okay. Well, repairs on equipment are something a little bit different, but food is definitely something that is variable. If we have more guests come into our restaurant, we need to buy more food to make the ingredients and buy more ingredients to make the food to serve those guests. If we don't have very many guests, then we don't need to prepare as much food. Okay. I don't think it's this class. It was my management leadership class. I shared an example of Kitchen Nightmares. That show that Gordon Ramsay
I
comes
love
in and
that
tries
show.
to Gordon
I
Ramsay
love that
comes
show.
in. Excellent. It's a great show. Comes in, tries to give some feedback. Okay. And on one of these
Sorry.
episodes, I don't know if it was that particular one that I posted on for that class, but on one of the episodes I remember watching, and we'll talk about it when we talk about par, is this cook would come in and he would make 100 orders of his smoked wings because that was his specialty, right? But on Monday he'd come in and make 100 orders of smoked wings, and on Tuesday he'd come in and make 100 orders of smoked wings, and on Wednesday he'd come in and make 100 orders of smoked wings every single day, never taking into account that there's still some smoked wings left over from the night before. And so
That's
there was
awesome.
literally just freezers full, refrigerators full of smoked chicken wings, but yet he was still making now there's got to be some kind of like dramatic effect for TV. I would hope that somebody is not that dense
Stupid.
that they're doing that. But hey, everyone has I don't know. You can't
Got a question.
you can't always
got a
tell.
que- Got a
All right,
question,
so
Mr.
food is one of our variable costs. What else?
Got a question, Mr. Minsky.
Yes, sir.
Didn't most of those shops on Kitchen Nightmares end up shutting down because no matter what controls Ramsey put in place, sooner or later they went back to what they had been doing because they felt comfortable, and it eventually caused the shutdown of the restaurant?
Actually, one of my students in my previous classes mentioned that. And he said, I think the statistic he said was 80% of the restaurants ended up closing anyways. So yeah, that's a good point. Variable costs.
Wages.
Wages, okay? That's our hourly wages. So that is when we have more food, more guests, we need to have more employees to serve. When we have less guests, got to send some people home because we don't want to use that labor dollars. Okay? And then
Question.
semi-variable, we're going to say is labor. Labor combines wages and salaries. Okay? So that's why the semi-variable costs, the cost goes up and goes down, but not in that direct proportion. Okay? All right. So controllable and non-controllable costs. Typically, these are our variables. And then these are our fixed costs. We have no control over them. Okay. Let's talk about prime cost. Prime cost is food, beverage, and labor. Why do those three costs make up our prime cost?
Because those are the things that
Hold
are
on,
used.
Tanner. Hold on, Tanner. Hold on. There's somebody answering it in class. Go ahead.
Because without
Sorry.
that, you don't have any way of making a profit.
Okay, so yes, I mean, without serving food and beverages and having labor, we don't really have a way to generate sales. Okay, so those are very important. Good. What else?
There's a major expenses.
They are major expenses, right? And not only are major expenses, they are also most controllable. So these are the ones we have the most control over. We don't control our rent. We don't control how much we pay in insurance. We don't control all the licensing. We have to pay that stuff. We don't control it. But we can control how much food, beverage, and labor to some extent because of the wages, how much we spend in that. Right? We know how to calculate food cost percentage. What tool do we use?
Trying.
The triangle. Okay? Cost, percent, sales.
Excuse me, Mr. Minsky.
Yes, sir.
What book, what textbook is this so I can find an online copy? What's the name of it?
It's controlling food service cost. You can find it in the syllabus. It's also
Thank
at the
you.
bookstore, so you should go get a physical copy at the bookstore.
All right. I prefer the online copy because then I always have access to it.
That's fine, but we only offer the in print textbooks.
All right.
So, what is an example of a cost savings idea? Something that you think we can do to save, thinking about that prime cost. It's our most controllable. Who can give me an example or something that you might do or something you might have done at your other restaurants or at your place of work? That's a cost savings idea. Go ahead, Diamond.
I know one of them is we make sure we had pretty much an expediter to like quadruple check all the orders. So if they go out and we're like, what? That's not what I ordered. We're not wasting that food.
Okay.
So the orders are correct and matches the ticket and
Yeah.
everything.
So by having one additional checkpoint, right, the expediter, that last person to verify, yes, this is correct, this is the way it needs to go out. By having that one, spending a little bit more money on labor, then that reduces the number of sendbacks to make sure everything goes out correctly. Okay, that's a good idea. What else? Yes, Lulu.
Similar to that one, but checking the plates when they come back to the kitchen, because if the portions are bigger, it's probably because they're too big.
Okay, that's a great idea. Check those plates as they come back. Maybe as a dishwasher, you notice that nobody is eating the meatloaf. Okay, they eat it like 2 or 3 bites and that's it. Nobody eats it. Okay, maybe we don't need to serve that meatloaf anymore. Okay, or if a lot of people are asking for to-go boxes, we're spending extra money on to-go boxes, and that means our portions might be a little bit too big. Okay, or I need to build in the cost of those to-go boxes into every meal that I serve. And then that way, if someone does ask for a to-go box, the cost is covered. And then somebody who doesn't, well, great, that's just a little bit more profit for me because they're not using that to-go box. Okay, good idea. What else? Yes, Jasmine.
Ensuring that everybody has a cup or something at work, like maybe a water bottle they bring from home, or reusable cups specifically for staff.
Okay.
That we're not consistently using the to-go cups.
There you go. That's awesome. I love that idea. When I worked at Chester's, I could drink as much soda as I wanted, as long as I didn't drink it out of a Chester's cup. I could drink it out of any cup that I wanted. We had an employee area that where all the employee cups were. It was my responsibility to wash it after my shift was done. But yeah, having those reusable cups is really helpful to cut down on waste because that to-go cup costs something, like the actual cup itself. Okay, good. What example did I give in the videos?
Lemons.
Lemons. How many of y'all were shocked by that? The fact that we could reduce that much cost on a lemon. Who has no idea what I'm talking about? Okay. If you go back and watch the videos, we talk about, I'll do a very, very, very brief. Okay. So raise your hand if you do not like tea and lemon, like the lemon with your tea. Raise your hand if you do not like the lemon with your tea. I'm the only one.
So man.
Oh my gosh. Wow,
Well,
this has
I can't
never
exact-
happened. Everybody loves lemon with your tea. That's
Can't exactly
interesting.
raise
Okay.
my hand in a digital fashion.
Okay, gotcha. I see it. I see it now. Okay, cool. So let's just say for the sake of math, let's say that we have I don't know, like 30%. Okay. So 30% of the people don't like lemon with their tea. Okay. If we sell 350 teas in one day, if we multiply that by 0.30, what do we get? Someone help me out. 350 times 0.30.
105.
105?
Mhm.
Okay. So that means that's 105 wedges of lemon that just gonna get tossed in the trash can. Okay. So now, just to keep it, what's 105 divided by 6? Right, 6 slices per lemon.
17.
Okay. So we divide this by 6 slices of lemon. And Diamond, what do we get?
I got 17.5.
17.5. Do we all agree? Okay. So let's round it up to 18 lemons. That's 18 lemons worth of slices. One, we're going to save the labor of cutting 18 lemons. Doesn't cost that, doesn't take that much time. If you have a lemon slicer, if you cut it by hand, that 18 wedges is going to take a little bit of time, or those 18 lemons are going to take a little bit of time. Lemons are about what? $1 a piece now at this point?
Roughly, depending on what kind of lemon you get too.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's go with $1 a piece just for the sake of math. But you might get smaller ones for like 2 for $1.
Mhm.
Okay, I agree. So let's say it's $18 per day. And we are open 360 days a year because we close 5 days because we care about our employees. We close for 5 days out of the year. What's 18 times 360?
6,480.
We could save $6,480 if instead of making our standard procedure of adding a lemon to the cup, if we take 3.5 seconds to say, would you like a lemon with your tea? And that could translate to 6,400, almost 6,500. What could you do with an extra 6,500? And that's one ingredient. Okay. When I was at Chester's, I didn't understand why we were doing this, but when I got a to-go bag, part of my side duties as a drink person, when the line wasn't long, is I go and make to-go bags. And so I would sit there and I'd take two napkins, 2 salt, 2 pepper, 2 ketchup, and put it in a to-go bag. Lay it flat, and then I'd stack up 50 bags in one box, right? Why was I doing that?
Save you time.
It saves time. Okay. Have y'all ever heard that phrase? If you have time to lean, you have time to clean. Okay. So we always have side duties that we should be working on. Okay. But if I'm a prep and somebody comes to pick up their to-go order and they say, can I have some ketchup? Am I going to reach into that little cup and get 2 pieces of ketchup while I have 14 burgers on the table behind me I need to make? No. What am I going to do?
Make the
Grab
burger.
a handful, boom, put a handful of ketchup in that bag. I don't have time to count out 2 pieces of ketchup and 2 pieces of salt and 2 pieces of pepper. No, I'm just gonna grab handfuls. And each one of those things cost money, right? And so that's how those cost savings ideas can come into play. And little by little, all of a sudden now we keep our costs low, our profit can go up. Okay. When we are looking at comparing what we actually did to what our standard is, okay, we're going to look at basically finding the difference or our variance. When we are doing that, we have to take the variance, oops, there you go. Variance equals actual minus budgeted. I'm going to use letters just because it's a little bit easier, but variance or the difference is equal to the actual minus the budgeted. And that's very similar to sales minus expenses. You have to do it in that order because it tells us whether or not we met the performance standard or we didn't meet the performance standard. Okay, so in this case down here, we budgeted $100,000 for food sales. We thought we were going to bring in $100,000. End of the period, we only brought in 90,000. What is our difference? It's a difference of 10,000. And because we did not reach our goal, it's a negative percentage. Okay. So how we define that percentage? We take the difference, the percent in this case is the difference, and we're going to divide it by our budgeted amount. So we take this difference of 10,000, divide it by 100,000, and that's our negative difference of 10, the negative 10%. Okay? We're going to do another example right after this, so don't stress out too much. But is this negative 10%? Is that a good number or a bad number? What do you think? It's a good number or a bad number? Show me with your thumbs up or thumbs down. Those of you online, you can give your thumbs up or thumbs down in the reactions. Is it a good number or a bad number? What do we think?
Do you like the movie?
Okay, I see a lot of thumbs down. I see some thumbs up. Really, the answer is it depends. Okay, it depends. This is one piece of the puzzle. I can't determine what. Now, granted, I didn't bring in as much money as I wanted to. So yeah, that's more on the negative side. However, as a manager, if my costs were also down by 10% or more, so I was able to control my costs, then I can justify and say, yes, I understand that we didn't quite make our sales number. But if you look, we also are down on our costs and our expenses. We were able to control our expenses. Okay. And so that maybe it's not necessarily the great answer, but it justifies that, okay, at least we are down here, but at least we're not up on the expenses as well. That would be doubly not good. That's not how I shouldn't have said it that way, but all right, so here we go. If our actual sales were 275,000, our budgeted sales were 250,000. Okay, what is our difference?
25,000.
25,000. And is it a positive or negative? It's positive because we went above what we budgeted. Okay, actual minus budgeted. Then our variance, we take that difference of 25,000 and we divide it by our budgeted of 250,000. And it comes out to 0.1, which we know because we were paying attention last week. Move that over 2, and this becomes 10%. Okay, so our variance percentage is 10%. And it's a positive number because we exceeded our budget. We exceeded our goal. So we went over. Yeah.
So budgeted sales, is that like what you estimate to make in sales?
Yep, exactly.
Okay. That's
Budget is what we planned on doing. Do you want me to show you a shortcut? I guess this literally just came to me.
Sure.
I'm teaching you this whole way because of the textbook, the way the textbook outlines it. But if we take 275,000 and divide by the budgeted of 250,000, I'm going off script. What number do we get when we divide these two numbers together? You get 1.1. So we move that decimal place over 2, and this becomes 110%, which means our difference is 10% over. So that's the even shorter way of doing that. Questions, comments, concerns?
I'm just a little confused.
What are you confused?
Okay, so that 0.10%, that's supposed to be like the 10%.
That's the 10%. Yep.
Where did that come
Where did what?
from? The 275 divided by that.
That's this number right here. So if we did the 275, so what we did, the textbook outlines it where you find the difference first, and then you subtract or you divide the difference and the budgeted, and that gives you the 10%. But what I did,
in that step.
I skipped that step of subtracting. What I did was went straight to the original actual divided by the budgeted, gave me 110, which means my overage is 10% because 100 is the whole, and then I went 10% beyond that. Okay. All right, so this one, they'll do one more for covers. What is a cover? How many guests we have? Yeah, exactly. How many tables, how many guests? Okay, basically how many reservations. So we budgeted to have 750 covers, but we had 680. Let's do the shortcut. What is 680 divided by 750? 0.9 exactly, or is there more?
0.906.
0.906?
Yeah, times.
Okay. So if I move that decimal place over, this is 90.6. Did I reach my goal? Did I reach my goal? Yes or no? Yes, no, thumb sideways for I'm not quite sure. If I divide, if I wanted to have 750 and I ended up with 680.
Oh,
If I divide 680 by 750, did I reach my goal?
no.
How can I tell that? Because this number is less than
100%.
100.
Less than 100.
Okay,
Oh, 10% less.
right? And so I'm what? 9.4% off. 9 point, or is it 8.4? 0.4 would be 1. Yeah, 9.4% off.
Negative 9.4.
Negative 9.4, correct. Okay, so let me show you one. Let's do this. What's 680 minus 7 or 750 minus 6? No, sorry, 680. I'm going off script again. 680 minus 750 is 70. Okay, a negative 70. And then we take that negative 70 and we divide by 750 and we'll get 9.4%. Okay.
Just the shortcut, it only gives you the actual,
Yeah, so the shortcut's gonna give you this number
but you have to calculate how
and then be
much.
like, how much less than 100? It's easy if you go over because you just take out the 100 and you're over. So if you're under 100, you still have to do that kind of subtraction a little bit. So maybe it's not quite a shortcut.
That is, but you have to do that.
You have to remember to.
Yeah.
But then do we put that as an answer?
Just remember that 100% is our goal. So if it's less than 100, that means we didn't quite get our goal. Okay. And that is it for chapter 2. Or chapter 1. How we doing on time? Oh, we got 20 minutes. I think we can do chapter 2 in 20 minutes.